Hello there and welcome to another Book of the Week review. It's been quite a while since I've done a review on this channel and I'm excited to be back today to give you a review of one of my favourite books from the past couple of years, Mastery by Robert Greene. Now, Mastery is a unique title because it cuts to the core of what it's all about if you're trying to succeed in your life in certain areas. And I think this book really epitomizes and drills down into what it is that we need to do if we want to achieve longer-lasting success in our lives. Now, Robert Greene himself is an interesting author. If you haven't heard of him before, he's written several books. One famous one was The 48 Laws of Power. Another one was The Art of Seduction. And then followed up with The 33 Strategies of War and The 50th Law, which was a collaboration with 50 Cent. He's got a unique style in that he uses historical figures and stories to illustrate his points and to really help you to understand what he's trying to suggest that you do in your life. He's also very honest in terms of the way people think and react to things. He doesn't pull punches, and he really does give you the dirt underneath what people are thinking and feeling a lot of the time. So I really respect his style, and I've really enjoyed his books over the past couple of years. Because his books go into so much detail about the historical figures and stories, I'm going to give you an overview of what I gained from the book, and hopefully it will inspire you to read the whole book for yourself. So let's get started with some of the key ideas that I learned from Mastery by Robert Greene. The book begins by talking about the concept of seeking mastery in your life. Robert says that the pursuit of mastery is becoming a forgotten art in the time that we live in today. In today's world, we tend to crave success, wealth, fame, and power, yet the path to these often eludes us. And we admire those who attain a higher level of achievement in whatever field they're in, but we soon forget that it's the mastery of an ability or a skill that actually got them to that higher level of achievement. So Robert suggests actually looking at mastery as the thing that you want, rather than just the success, the power, the fame, whatever it is that you're desiring, because mastery will actually lead to those things by default. His first suggestion is to choose your path. Now, he says that most people don't actually choose a specific career or path that they want to follow and that they want to master, instead just taking the first job or opportunity that seems interesting to them. Now, very often we think that we should be called to our path, that it should be some mystical thing that's out there that is calling to us and making us follow. But actually what happens is very often we need to decide to become deeply interested in something. We have to choose consciously that this is going to be my path and this is what I'm going to follow. And then we have to become committed to the long-term time frame that it takes to reach that level of mastery. That's a very important point, that mastery doesn't come overnight. It can take 5, 10, 20, sometimes 50 years to become a master at what you're trying to do. Once we've decided on a calling or a path, the next step is to submit to reality. We have to begin to learn the rules and understand the way things work in the world. And ideally, we have to find another master to learn from. Doing this helps us to become mentally tough, and we learn from our feedback and our setbacks. And we must put our own ego aside and be willing to learn from the masters that can teach us what we need to know. Robert in the book talks about this being the apprenticeship phase, when we're learning from someone else and we're discovering the reality of how things work. Another part of the apprenticeship phase is developing our social intelligence. Now, we often believe that superior intelligence in life is the key to any success, but the reality is that emotional skills are very often the key to progress on the path to mastery. As you become an adult in the world becomes more competitive. You'll notice that it's about getting good grades in school and college, eventually competing for a good job, and then trying to climb the ladder in whatever you're doing. So to become competitive, we must adapt and become socially savvy and able to deal with other people. Understanding human nature and how to read people is really a core skill that we all have to attain on the path to mastery. And another part of this is overcoming our own weaknesses, our own personality pitfalls, the things that hold us back personally. If we can do this, this will help us to progress on the path to mastery. Once we've learned the rules of our profession or our area that we want to master, and we've got some basic people skills and social intelligence, the next phase is what Robert calls the creative active phase. Now, interestingly enough, this is where most people tend to begin coasting in their life. They've got the basics down of their job or their profession, they're a decent communicator with other people, and so they start to relax and not strive to become better. But the path to mastery actually begins once you know the basics and you begin to drive for higher results in your life. And it's when the true work of mastery begins, because you must not get sidetracked or lazy in your pursuits. And this is harder than it seems, because one of the challenges of having a small amount of success is that we tend to get satisfied. We no longer want to strive as hard as we were when we were learning. Another challenge is that we may begin to get criticized by others around us for not fitting into the normal mold. People might ask us why we're still working so hard to improve ourselves and not just relaxing and enjoying our life now that we have a little amount of success. But this is the key to the creative active phase. Once we've learned the basics, we must push ourselves to improve even more and to become creative in our pursuit of our goals. If we persist long enough in the creative active phase, working to strive and improve ourselves, eventually we reach the stage of mastery. And this is where we can begin to trust our intuition. As the years pass and your level of skills and knowledge grow, you start to reach a higher level. And this is what mastery is all about. Masters are able to call upon their intuition in those crucial moments because they've spent so many years developing it. And when that intuition starts to call upon you, you have to begin to listen to it and follow it. This is something that all masters have in common. They've spent the time and the energy and the effort to get to this level, and now they trust in their own intuition. And this is when the breakthroughs often emerge in our lives. But it takes many years to reach this level, and most people never do. So these are some of the basic keys to mastery that I learned in this excellent book by Robert Greene. First of all, actually seeking mastery itself, focusing on that as your goal, rather than just success, wealth, money, or power. The next is to consciously choose your path. Be willing to decide on something, a challenge or a goal that you want to achieve that requires mastery. After that, you must submit to reality. Finding a master, someone else who can teach you during your apprenticeship phase when you're learning everything you can about the way the world works and the reality of your chosen profession. Along the way, you have to develop your social intelligence so that you can influence, persuade, and get along with other people in the world. Once you've got the basics down, the next step is to go into the creative active phase, where rather than sitting back and relaxing like most people do, you put more effort and time and energy into getting to where you want to be, that level of mastery. And finally, when you reach the level of mastery, your skills and knowledge, the years of experience you've put together actually start to pay off by giving you intuition, ways to excel that other people can't see or can't understand. And this is when you begin to trust your own intuition and really get the results that you want. So that's a basic overview of the book Mastery by Robert Greene. The book itself is around 315 pages. It is packed with stories of famous historical figures and modern-day people who have achieved the level of mastery. The stories in the book really help to solidify the concepts that I've shared here, and Robert goes into a lot more detail than I've done. Hopefully this book review has been useful for you and has given you an interest in Robert Greene's Mastery. If you'd like to leave a like or a comment below, if you have read the book, I'd love to hear your feedback and review of the book. As always, thanks for watching. Thank you for being part of the Lifestyle Revolution channel, and thank you for improving yourself.